There we go. We are live now. Welcome, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us today. Let me go back here so I can see the chat. Thanks again very much for joining me tonight. We are doing requests tonight for tonight's live stream. So if you have anything you want me to hear, please let me know in the chat, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or my website. I'm glad you could join me tonight. Thanks very much for coming out, tuning in. I see you dancing there, but there's tension in your stare, as if the world is disturbing your peace, as if there's something deep inside you try so hard to hide, leaves you aching to find your sweet release. Just come with me and I'll show you a place where the wind flows free. I let the warm air hit your face. There's no disgrace of breathing in. And so we began in the corner of your own little room. It's like roses in bloom, and breathing in. There's freedom in the basking in the wind. Just take a seat with me, let it run free. There is no shame, feel the tension ooze away. I still want you by my side. If it makes you feel alive, feel the fragrance of creation as you stay. It's a love so fine, but now just let it flow from your depths into mine. I let the warm air hit your face. There's no disgrace of breathing in. And so we began in the corner of your own little room. It's like roses in bloom, but breathing in. There's freedom in the basking in the wind. Once you're satisfied, just return to the dance and to the soundtrack of your life. But so you know, if the tension ever grows, then come back here to find me and let the wind blow. Let the warm air hit your face. There's no disgrace of breathing in. And so we began in the corner of your own little room. It's like roses in bloom, but breathing in. There's freedom in the basking in the wind. There's freedom in the basking in the wind. All right, thanks again for joining me, and I hope everything sounds okay. I had to change up the sound a little bit tonight. I don't have the plug-in for the guitar set up tonight. I still need to put batteries in the other one so that the pickup works properly. I actually did buy batteries, but I found out that they were the wrong size. The really tiny batteries that is normally used for like watches and stuff like that, those are pretty hard. Those are pretty hard to decipher the sound of. Well, I'm glad everything sounds good. Let's see. We got a request for in here. Let me see if I can read it from here. Oh, Kat's here. Hello, Kat. Happy birthday. Today's my sister's birthday. And of course, I'll do Ellis for you. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to do that now because I don't have to. With the guitar stuff here, you know, I don't have to plug or unplug anything. So I can just very quickly go through. All right, so I'll do, and the song that Kat is referring to is "Did Galileo Pray" by Ellis Paul, which is an old favorite of mine. Let's see if I can remember the words for it. When he looked into a starry sky upon Jupiter, and his cold moons making the weary rounds, did he know that the Pope would claim that he ran with Lucifer, and a prison cell would be where he lay his head down? Was he wearing a thorny crown when he plotted the motion of planets? Was Mercury in retrograde? But he found truth when a lie was what was demanded. When the judges asked him pointedly, he was a-tremble in that day. Did Galileo pray? Did Galileo pray? He said, tell Ptolemy, tell Copernicus that the sun is at the core of us. The church, the Pope can't deny it, a Milky Way. And every flower that's followed the sun has known all along what God has done. They whispered truth as the seasons each give away. She said, don't shoot the messenger. The postman delivers truth today, and truth will march in Birmingham. It'll block the tanks in Tiananmen. But the judges on the witness stand, let's see what they all say. Did Galileo pray? Galileo pray? Galileo pray? Galileo pray? In the heavens you'll see it, as God had conceived it. Yeah, oh, believe it. Whoa, whoa, what are you gonna do to believe? Don't shoot messenger, and the postman brings you truth today. And the truth will march in Birmingham. It'll block the tanks in Tiananmen. Put the judges on the witness stand. Let's see what they all say. The Galileo Parade, the Galileo Parade, the Galileo. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. All right, that was Did Galileo Pray by Ellis Paul per my sister's request. Thanks again very much for giving that request, Kat. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a great birthday tonight. And let's see, a couple of chat stuff came in. Let's see, Mrs. D is here tonight. Thanks very much for coming. And Kat said, happy birthday to Dr. Seuss. Always one of my favorite days at Cal, not because it was my birthday. That's right. Mrs. D always had the hat on. That's a lot better than my shared birthday. I share my birthday with Guy Fieri. But I do also share it with Steve Perry from Journey, so that's also a good one. Nothing against Guy Fieri, just not a huge fan. Both of my parents love Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. They watch it all the time on TV. Let's see. Wisteria. I haven't played that song in years. The switch guitars again for that one. So I'll do that one next. Let me know if there's anything else you would like to hear. I am taking a lot of requests tonight. As a matter of fact, let me go up to the computer a little bit and put the graphic up that says that I am. There it is. Put that up there. There it is, right there in the bottom left. So now you know. So I don't have to keep saying it all over. But I'll do Wisteria for you. This up. Check tuning a little bit. So the song in question, my mother requested this one. This is a song by Richard Shindell called Wisteria. Richard Shindell is one of my all-time favorite singer-songwriters in the folk music community. He's right up there with Ellis Paul, who wrote that last tune. And this one has become a favorite of mine over the years as well. Oh boy, American Pie. Believe it or not, I actually can do that. But first, I'll do this song. This is Wisteria. Let's not drive away just yet. Give me a moment more to walk through those rooms again, to walk through that door. If we turn off the radio, I'm only to close my eyes. The wind in the sycamores will carry me home. The vine of my memory is blooming around those eaves. It's true, it's a chore to tame. Wisteria, wisteria. I'm tempted to ring the bell. Maybe they'd ask me in, or maybe it's just as well to let it all be. Remember the price we paid. It seemed like a lot back then. Remember the love we made, the day we moved in. The vine of my memory is blooming around those eaves. It's true, it's a chore to tame. Wisteria, wisteria. It did need some pruning back, and I know it's not my place, but how could they just cut it down and leave not a trace? So let's not drive away just yet. Give me a moment more to walk through those dreams again, to walk through that door. The vine of my memory still blooms all around those eaves. But it's true, it's a chore to tame. Wisteria, 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 wisteria. All right, so that was Wisteria by Richard Shindell. And I'll move right along to the next request, which is American Pie. So I'll do that for you. This is always a favorite whenever I play a cover show, which I am going to start doing again pretty soon. We are currently booking shows for a bunch of different types of shows coming up over next spring and summer. Probably a little bit of the fall as well, though not quite yet. We'll get there. But I do have a couple of them. Booked already. The next in-person show that I have ready to go is at the Vreeland store in West Milford, New Jersey, with my singing partner Ronnie Caggiano. And we'll be doing a 2-hour set there in the morning, Sunday morning. If I recall correctly, it's March 28th. And then we got a whole bunch of shows booked as well at Torn Valley Vineyards. That's always a regular place for me as well. So a couple nights I'll be playing this tune for you. Let's see, William requests America. I can do that. I can do that for you. But first, you'll have to wait about 9 minutes for after this tune here. A long, long time ago, I can still remember how that music used to make me smile. And I knew if I had my chance that I could make those people dance, and maybe they'd be happy for a while. But February made me shiver with every paper I delivered. Bad news on the doorstep. I couldn't take one more step. I can't remember if I cried when I read about his widowed bride, but something touched me deep inside the day the music died. So bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Then good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, "This'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die." Did you write the book of love, and do you have faith in God above? If the Bible tells you so. Now do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul? And can you teach me how to dance real slow? Well, I know that you're in love with him, 'cause I saw you dancing in the gym. You both kicked off your shoes. Man, I dig those rhythm and blues. I was a lonely teenage bronc and buck with a pink carnation and a pickup truck, but I knew I was out of luck the day the music died. I started singing bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Then good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, "This'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die." Now for 10 years we've been on our own, and moss grows fat on a rolling stone, but that's not how it used to be. When the jester sang for the king and queen in a coat he borrowed from James Dean, in a voice that came from you and me. Oh, and while the king was looking down, the jester stole his thorny crown. The courtroom was adjourned. No verdict was returned. And while Lenin read a book on Marx, the quartet practiced in the park, and we sang dirges in the dark. The day the music died, we were singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Then good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Helter skelter in a summer swelter, the birds flew off with a fallout shelter, 8 miles high and falling fast. And Lenny fell on the grass. The players tried for a forward pass, with the jester on the sidelines in a cast. Now the halftime air was sweet perfume, while the sergeants played a marching tune. We all got up to dance, oh, but we never got the chance, 'cause the players tried to take the field. The marching band refused to yield. Do you recall what was revealed the day the music died? We started singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Then good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Oh, and there we were all in one place, a generation lost in space, with no time left to start again. So come on, Jack, be nimble, Jack, be quick. Jack Flash sat on a candlestick, but fire is the devil's only friend. Oh, and as I watched him on the stage, my hands were clenched in fists of rage. No angel born in hell could break that Satan spell. And as the flames climbed high into the night to light the sacrificial rite, I saw Satan laughing with delight. The day the music died, he was singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Then good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. I met a girl who sang the blues, and I asked her for some happy news, but she just smiled and turned away. I went down to the sacred store where I'd heard the music years before, but the man there said the music wouldn't play. And in the streets the children screamed, the lovers cried, and the poets dreamed. Not a word was spoken, the church bells all were broken. And the 3 men I admire most, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, they caught the last train for the coast the day the music died. They were singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Then good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. They were singing bye bye Miss American Pie. my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, saying this'll be the day that I died. All right, thanks again. That was American Pie, and got some more requests here. I Remember America, and my grandmother suggested Annie's song. I'm going to do that one now because I love playing that tune. Going to start requesting American Pie more. Not a bad idea. And if you're able to come down for an in-person show, chances are you'll definitely hear it. But I'll do Annie's song, and then I'll do America. Then I'll do a couple of original tunes, because I got to squeeze those in, too. All right, so here's John Denver's Annie's song per request from my grandmother who's watching on YouTube. Thanks very much for tuning in, Grandma. You fill up my senses like a night in a forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses. Come fill me again. Come, let me love you. Let me give my life to you. Let me drown in your laughter. Let me die in your arms. Let me lay down beside you. Let me always be with you. Come, let me love you. Come, love me again. Let me give my life to you. Come, let me love you. Come, love me again. You fill up my senses like a night in a forest, like the mountains in springtime, like the walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses. Come fill me again. Come fill me again. All right, thanks again for requesting that. That was Annie's song. Once again, I'm going to do America next and then squeeze in some original stuff in there for you. Alrighty. Okay, I might need the lyrics for this next song, I'm not sure, but better to be safe than sorry. Let us be lovers, we'll marry our fortunes together. I've got some real estate here in my bag. So we bought a pack of cigarettes, Mrs. Wagner pies, and we walked off to look for America. Kathy, I said as we boarded a Greyhound in Pittsburgh, Michigan seems like a dream to me now. It took me 4 days to hitchhike from Saginaw, and I've come to look for America. Laughing on the bus, playing games with the faces. She said the man in the gabardine suit was a spy. I said, be careful, his bow tie is really a camera. Toss me a cigarette, I think there's one in my raincoat. We smoked the last one an hour ago. So I looked at the scenery. She read her magazine, and the moon rose over an open field. Kathy, I'm lost, I said, though I knew she was sleeping. And I don't know why. Counting the cars on the New Jersey Turnpike, they've all come to look for America. All come to look for America. All come to look for America. All right, thanks again. That was America. I'm going to do a couple of original tunes for you now. Take a brief break from the requests. If you do have anything, I am still taking them. I'll be playing them a little bit later. So if you have anything, leave them in the chat. Leave them in the comments. I hope you're enjoying the show tonight. Let's do this one. So I'm working on some new material. I have songs written and ready to go for the studio. And this song is one of them. This is called I Saw My Child. I saw my child in the clearing in the rain, so clear and yet so dark. Despite the storm that creeps from the distance, she flies like a meadowlark. The eagle soars, the thunder roars. I saw my child as innocence blinds him, and lightning takes its mark. I saw my child as he willingly fell in the arms of a docile beast. A gentle smile betrays the hunger, sharpened swords on his teeth. Generations poor have let this monster roar. I saw my child as it woke from its slumber. To its flesh it sinks. I saw my child as he raised his hand, asking for peace and for love. The guard he laughs and orders his men to stone, to shame and to shove. Broken and resigned, he gets back in line. I see my child as he dies to a shell, and I weep from heaven above. I see my child as he dies to a shell, and I weep from heaven above. All right, thanks again. That was I Saw My Child. Thanks very much for doing that. I'm going to call last call on requests. So if you have anything you want to hear, please slip it in the comments during this next song here. I'm going to switch guitars over. After that, I'm going to finish up with my own set. Thanks very much for tuning in. I'm glad you could join us tonight. This is another newer song of mine. It's It's going to go on the next record. This is called Build This City. I wrote this song after a trip to New York City that I took pre-pandemic. I haven't been back since it started, for good reason. But I had noticed something on this particular trip to New York City. I noticed that the skyline was changing. We were getting to a point where there were a lot of brand new buildings going up on the west side of Manhattan, where for tens of miles out, you can see that skyline. And for decades, that skyline was mostly dominated by the Empire State Building. Before 9/11, it was also dominated by the World Trade Center. And in most recent years, it's also been dominated by the New World Trade Center. But that has changed a lot. With all of these new residential buildings going up on the west side, that view is being blocked. And the Empire State Building, which is further inland, is being dwarfed from that far distance by all these brand new buildings. And at the same time, on the ground, the homeless population is skyrocketing. And it's been for a number of years. You go down to New York City, you can see one on every street corner, at least 3 in every park, and at least a dozen on every subway train. And that problem is about to get a lot worse with the pandemic, as the previous halt to evictions from apartments throughout the city that was put forward by Mayor Bill de Blasio is set to expire at the end of this month. And people are already starting to get eviction notices. While we're still in the heat of this pandemic, we still have tens of thousands of people dying throughout the country every month. And unemployment is still very high. So this song kind of speaks to that movement. This is Build This City. Patterson on the bread box line, he lost his home on his own dime. She rules the bright light serenade with a child at her promenade. A theater man in the tightest jeans, a husband sick in bed asleep. From the ashes of pain and pity, come together, let's build this city. Innocence with charcoal skin, his brother shot by a blue man's tin. A mother trapped in a textile mill, reached her hand for her mouths to fill. Concrete towers proud and tall, how many iron workers fall? From the ashes of pain and pity, come together, let's build this city. We used to be a solemn land, planted firmly in the sand. But sharps recall our conscience hid, we wake up to see just what they did. They ripped apart the prophet's tongue, and the murderer is free to run. gambler hits a sloping stride, climbing up to the money's high. The working man has a beggar's kiss. God knows we are better than this. So from the ashes of pain and pity, come together, let's build this city. 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 Thanks again. That was Build This City. It's going to be on my new record. Looking to come out summer or fall of this year. I just started the recording process for it. The demos are all done. I got percussion lined up for most of these tunes, including that one. Let's see if there are any more requests. I am closing the line now. Blackbird by the Beatles. I can try it. I haven't done it in a long time. But I think I remember it enough. I do have to pull up the lyrics for it, though. So, if you'll excuse me, I have to do that. It was great playing tonight. I'm going to do two more, do this request, and then I'm going to close out. There you are. Okie dokie. Just a quick refresher. All right, so here's Blackbird by request. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of the dark black night. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of the dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to rise. You were only waiting for this moment to rise. You were only waiting for this moment to rise. All right, thanks again. Thanks for requesting that. That was the Beatles' Blackbird. Well, it's 8 o'clock now. I'm going to do one more song for you, then I'm going to call it a night. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I do have more live streams scheduled for the month of March. I actually have at least one every week this month. The next one we're going to do is March 13th, which, if I remember correctly, is a Saturday. And we're going to keep the music rolling from that point on, I think, on a regular basis. So if you're new here, thanks very much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like on my Facebook page, or subscribe to my YouTube channel, depending on where you are tuning in from. My name is Kyle Hancherek. I'm coming to you from upstate New York, and I do these live streams on a pretty regular basis. If you're interested in giving me a hand, helping out financially or any other way, you can check out a couple places. You can check out my Patreon page up here, patreon.com/Kyle Hancherek, where you can become a monthly subscriber and a member. Get some exclusive behind-the-scenes content for as little as $1 a month. You can also leave a one-time donation or tip at paypal.me/Kyle Hancherek, my page there. Any amount you can give certainly helps. If you can't give, that's okay. I know times are still tough right now. We're not out of the woods yet. But thanks again very much for tuning in. I'm glad you enjoyed tonight's show. Once again, we're going to be back here again on March 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So I hope you can join us for that as well. This is a song called How You Say Goodbye. The bases are loaded. I bow down to the floor. A single shot on this green plot is all I'm asking for. September is faded, no room for wanting more. My sad goodbye that's spoken through this stadium ensures. The temple is floating, the cheers sound much too good. The backyard sales of tallest tales is far too understood. I'm taking my chances with a slightly crooked grin and a fire in my eyes in a timely telling sin. If the pitch comes in over the plate, just the right speed and perfectly straight, the swing of the bat and it cracks and the crowd goes wild. It's a long line drive to dead center field. It's over the wall and the legacy's sealed. And that, my friends, is how you say goodbye. So many moments, but none to save the day. I never had that chance, but that's the price I had to pay. But now I am grounded. Fans ignite the flame, and the lightning says straight road ahead to glory and to fame. When the pitch comes in over the plate, just the right speed and perfectly straight, swinging the bat and it cracks and the crowd goes wild. It's a long line drive to dead center field. It's over the wall and the legacy's sealed. And that, my friends, is how you say goodbye. Oh, this face looks better than a morning glory bloom, but I've struck out way more times than you can fit in this old room. But as I turn to leave, I'll find a strength I'll never tell. So I'm climbing up the down escalator for one last kiss farewell. And the pitch comes in over the plate, just the right speed and perfectly straight. swinging the bat and it cracks and the crowd goes wild. It's a long line drive to dead center field. It's over the wall and the legacy's sealed. And that, my friends, is how you say goodbye. Oh, and that, my friends, is how I say goodbye. Well, thanks very much again for joining me tonight. I had a lot of fun playing for you. Once again, please join me again on March 13th, right here at 7 p.m. Eastern for the next live stream. I'm not sure what the theme for that one is going to be, anything along that line, but it is part of a series. I am going to be doing quite a bit more as that time comes. But thanks very much, everybody, for joining me. Yes, happy birthday to my sister Kat. Today is her birthday today. Thanks very much, everybody, for those of you who tuned in today. I really appreciate when you guys are able to come out and join me. You know, it's not quite what I would like to do when it comes to playing shows and stuff. You know, I do enjoy being in front of a crowd and playing for them in person. I do want to tour, but obviously can't really do that all that much right now. But it is good to have this stuff, and I appreciate you coming out, tuning in, and supporting the show. It's always great to play for you guys again. And one last time, March 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern for the next live stream show. Thanks very much to everybody who requested tunes. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Peace and love, you guys. See you later.